Well, hello everybody, and welcome to a belated edition of Step Chat here on the Float channel. Welcome, good to see you all, or Float page, I should say. Good to see you all. Thank you all for being here. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive producer of Float, of Aloft, of Fulcrum, and a couple other events, and even one more project that we're not talking about yet. But hi, good to see you all. Yes, that's called a tease. Good to see you. Yes, I do again want to apologize for not being here last night for Step Chat. The truth of the matter was, as we've talked about before, this was a scheduled thing. Berg and I, a long time no here. Yes. This was a scheduled shift change, so to speak. For those of you that know all about, sorry, dog. For those of you that know, June is Pride Month, of course, and here in Seattle, um, the Seattle Pride Parade was yesterday, and so and the Seattle Pride Parade was kind of like the last big thing that we have for the month, and so needless to say, now I will say that at 6 p.m. we were enjoying chips and salsa and fajitas and a big, humongous glass of iced tea at 6 o'clock last night. And I remember thinking, well, I should be doing Step Chat right now. But that, again, we were in no condition to do a show last night at all. We were all wiped out. We were exhausted. And Dina, hope you got some well-deserved rest. No, I have not rested yet. And that is part of the problem, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So yeah, Greg Aragoni, happy recovery. No, there's no recovery day yet. Nope, not yet. Angela, good to see you. And Pia Guadalupe, of course, our wonderful staff member. Good to see you as well, Pia. No, today was not a recovery day. Unfortunately, that was the hope. The original hope was that today would be a recovery day, that we would actually get a day off. That did not happen. Debbie Levy, good to see you. And Dory, as always, a pleasure. Thank you very much. Yeah, so for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been putting clients off and putting clients off and putting clients off and putting clients off and putting clients off because we had to get through intern week at Microsoft. We had to get through Pride Week here in Seattle. We had to get through a bunch of other events that just wouldn't stop. And of course, every single one of them expected an answer today. And then I did on Saturday, I took a few minutes to check because I was getting very worried because, we have the clipboards up here, right? And I normally update them a couple times a week. And I realized that I had not even touched them in at least a week. So I was getting very concerned. And as I'm going through the paperwork, we got an install grand opening tomorrow morning. So there was no way in hell anybody was getting the day off. So, needless to say, it was a very today. I can't lie. Well, let's see here. Let's see what's going on. Thurl, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Brianna, hi Steve. Was thinking about you this weekend. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Spreading joy, spreading into my pocketbook as well. That was good. Thanks. Thank you. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So yesterday, something happened that hasn't happened to me in a very, very long time. I reached a point yesterday of not just physical exhaustion, but emotional and mental exhaustion. I have not had a day off, and it depends on how you define a day off, right? But if we let's take emails out of the equation. Like if I spend 22 hours of a 24-hour day not working, I hate to say it, but that's kind of a day off for me. The last actual day off I've had was February when I went to go visit my parents. it's starting to accumulate, you know. Um, the the workload here at Balloon Designers has been really, I mean, we came, unless some miracle happens tonight, unless one of my clients who I've sent reminders to a dozen times remembers, oh yeah, I need to pay that invoice. Um, we're going to be a few $1,000s shy of our best June ever, which means we also finished a few $1,000s shy of our best month ever. So this is actually on record now for Balloon Designers as the second best month we've ever had. Um, and it's good. I mean, that's a good thing. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'd rather be tired than broke, right? But there's also a time when you just, your soul feels tired, right? And that's where I'm at right now. Now the good thing is I've recognized it, right? I see it, I know it. And so I'm going to try to take some time off in the next month or two, or both. Um, my sister-in-law sent me a text message yesterday for something that I was unaware of, and I'm very excited about that. So first of all, the great thing about being here in Seattle is we're just a couple hours away from Vegas. So I really like the idea of flying like to Vegas for 3 days, because number one, I can find a deck chair and just lay out and do nothing if I want to. There's a lot of good things to do in Vegas if I get bored of laying out, or if I fry myself like I'm accustomed to doing. And I don't feel like I've lost a day traveling. Like I can get a first thing in the morning flight. I can get there at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I got the whole day that day. I got the whole day the next day. And if I want to stay a third day, that's fine. And then I can fly home late that night. And so I still end up getting 3 full days, and I'm only gone a couple, right? So it's not like a big chunk of time away from Balloon Designers if I need to be here. So that's one thing. So I'm looking to possibly try and work something like that out later this month. And then my sister-in-law. So for those of you that may know me, I am a huge fan of the 80s band Oingo Boingo. Well, it turns out that the lead singer of Oingo Boingo is known more prominently now for his own musical stylings as an orchestral film composer and as the singing voice of Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas and a bunch of other stuff. And his name is Danny Elfman. And apparently he is doing one of his combo concerts in Colorado in August. And the problem is, when he normally does these shows, it's in Southern California and it's always Halloween. And I can't go because we're always so damn busy here with Halloween events. I mean, we have events, like major events on Halloween, the day before Halloween, days before, and I can never ever go. So this time I'm going to try and take time off so I can actually fly to Colorado and see this concert that I've been trying to see for years now. So I'm very excited about that. I got to price tickets and stuff, but at this point I really don't care. And the deal here at the shop is, like, if one of us wants to take time off, we just say we're taking time off. The other person basically has to cover it. Unless there's another complication, like when I had to go visit my parents earlier this year. Actually, that was January. That wasn't February. That was January. Holy crap! Having a day off since January. When I went to go visit them, A to the L to the EXA already had time off scheduled too. So there was about 4 days where we had to agree that we were just going to close the business down and be done. And she just took all of Memorial Day weekend off, like almost a week at Memorial Day off, to go visit family. And then she informed me right after that, oh, by the way, I'm going to Tough Techs. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to be here running the show while she's at the Tough Techs experience. So I kind of feel like, all right, well, I'm taking this. And there we go. So there you are. Catherine, good to see you. Thank you very much. Tabitha, nice to see you as well. There you go. Catherine, I'm in bed rest now. Did not like June. Well, June is a thing. June is a thing. Mary Huhikian, good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. So I don't mean to be out here whining and crying tonight. I really don't. I'm just the best part about it is I do feel like you guys can relate to what I'm talking about, complaining about, whining about, moaning about, whatever. So I appreciate the fact that I can bend an ear and find a little bit of sympathy in the group. So that's great. Alyssa Murray, good to see you. Our fabulous designer of the year who's teaching at Float. There you go. So yeah, and just knowing that I am now like, okay, I got to do this. Like I'm now that I'm realizing that, look, I'm at this point where I'm just going to basically implode if I don't do something pretty soon. I feel better already knowing that I recognize it and that I'm making plans to correct it. Right. And I mean, to be fair, thank God this week is dead. Like, we have tomorrow morning, we have the install, and we do have to tear it down Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. So that's not too bad. Thursday, I've got 2 columns I have to deliver to a casino. And then we have an arch to do on the 4th of July. And then that's it. Like, nothing else for till next week. So in that regard, I'm like, yay, I got some time to rest. But the reality is I'm so far behind on float stuff that, you know, it's like, yeah, but I'll be catching up on all that. So empathy, not sympathy. That's it. There you go. Oh, very good, Linda. This June was my best month ever. Also, very good. Well, unfortunately, this wasn't my best month. We came very close. But again, to be fair, if two specific clients decide to pay that invoice tonight, or their invoices tonight, then we will have our best month ever. Because Washington State is based upon accrual, right? Sales are based upon accrual, like money that's actually comes in, not written sales, but actually paid sales. So there's that. So there we go. Okay. All right. Enough whining from Esteban. Let's get to the show here. Let's see what we can do. Bear with me while I get to. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Let's see where I get to share my screen. You can hear Mr. Murphy running up. Hold on a second. I didn't fix something. By the way, I do want to share this. Can you hear him running all over the shop? He's playing catch with himself. It's the cutest thing ever. So my yard has had broken fencing now for almost the entire time I've had Murphy. And I finally got it fixed. Like, the guy that's been, I have a handyman now that comes to the house and takes care of my yard, takes care of all this other stuff, because Lord knows I just don't have time to do it. And he got around to the fence this weekend and he fixed the fence. So now the fence is completely closed in on the outside. And it was the first time since I've owned him to where he could run free in the yard. And I almost cried. It was he was so ridiculously happy. Like, he was just like, oh my God, I'm not on the leash. Ah! It was good. It was great. So now every day, when it's not pouring down rain, of course, that's going to be something that he's going to be doing every time. So every time. Lorena, good to see you. And say hi to Milton for me as well. There you go. So yeah, he was just, and you could see him just grinning, right? Like that whole big thing. So it was just fantastic. So he was very happy. But he has finally chewed a hole in the squeak ball. I wish I could say I felt bad about that, but I don't. So now he can just chew it all day long, and there you go. And Janice, of course, good thing to catch up with float stuff while relaxing by the pool in Vegas. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know that I want to bring a laptop out there and deal with all that stuff at the pool. But there we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's try and get back to this whole share screen thing. Let's get to the show. Let's get to the content portion of the show, shall we? First of all, let's make sure that this is converting right using my lovely Facebook cheat sheet here. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, great. So again, thank you all very much. I really do appreciate the fact that everybody's been so patient with me the last couple of weeks where we've had to swap Mondays and Sundays. But I promise now, at least for the foreseeable future, that we're back to the regular showcase on Sundays. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize a few people that were great enough to come out and help out with balloon designers in the last couple of weeks. Of course, you guys remember last week, Ryan Farewell from Tennessee was here with me working, and he was joined the very next day by the one and only T Money. Teresa Harding was here also. So Teresa and Ryan and myself and A to the L to the EXA put in a very, very, very long day yesterday, along with many, many, many very, very long days. So I was very happy. And both of them I put them both on planes earlier today. Ryan got dropped off at about 5:15 a.m. this morning for his flight home, and he should be home by now. And T Money should be landing, I believe, within the next 10 minutes. She'll be home. So yay. So thank you all very much, and really want to thank them for coming out and helping out with everything. I also want to give a special shout out to Doug Adoni, excuse me. Doug is from Hawaii, and Doug is one of our Float family members. He comes to Float quite often. About once a year, Doug comes out and visits family here in Western Washington. And he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in town, these dates to this date. Do you need help?" And I thought, well, hell, we can always use another set of hands at the Pride Parade. And he was tremendously helpful at the Pride Parade. So I want to give a special shout out to Doug. I did not get, unfortunately, I forgot to get a selfie with me, Doug, and Ryan at this stage in the parade. For those of you that don't know, this parking lot basically becomes our private parking lot every year because it's a paid lot. And we get in at like 6:30 in the morning, and they close the streets down at like 8. So by 8 o'clock, nobody can get to this parking lot. So if you're not already parked there, and this year, once again, we were the only vehicles in the lot. So we had this entire parking lot to ourselves, and we use it as a staging area. So what we'll do is we have all the trucks and everything lined up, and then we'll, pull the product out and everything and get on it. Jackie Sopko, Doug did a Home Depot job for me last year. Yes, he did. I believe I connected the two of you too. So there you go. But Doug's a great guy, wonderful guy, very friendly, very helpful. If you get a chance to talk to him at Float, he is coming to Float. So make sure you say hi and say, "That's a good looking bee." Okay, so there we go. All right. And by the way, for those of you that are confused, wondering why a bee is square, that is my Minecraft bee. I guess the Minecraft bees were something relatively important to the movie. And this year, everything we've been doing for Microsoft and Mojang Studios, who are the people that make Minecraft, there's been a really big focus on this bee. And so this year, in addition to the creeper heads, they asked me to make a couple of bees for the parade as well. So that was there, and it was fun, and they made a big impact. So there we go. Can't wait for Float. This is my first one. Yes. And your life will never be the same. There we go. All right. So let's get to Aloft. For those of you that are unfamiliar, hello, Murphy. For those of you unfamiliar, Aloft is our streaming service that we offer through the Floativerse. I do, again, before we get too far along here, I want to update you on past classes. Yes, again, I am so far behind, it's not even funny. I have still not had a chance yet to get to Sharissa Sawyer's class from May. I have not had a chance, obviously, to get to Stacy Chase's class from June. It is my intention tomorrow to start catching up on these classes because I should have downtime starting tomorrow. A to the L to the EXA already has the orders for Thursday and Friday prepped and ready to go. So there's no reason in the world tomorrow why I can't get started getting these classes uploaded and caught up. So I do apologize. And because I know that Sherry Hatcher is here, no, I've not recorded a podcast episode either. And I do apologize for that as well. So I will be trying to catch up on that in the next couple of days, which also means then I'll be doing 2 this month because I got to get, this is the June one that I haven't recorded yet. And then I got to do July at the same time. So I don't want to I don't want to. I'm tired of shorting months. I want to make sure. I want to get back on pace and get this done right. Um, so there we go. So I do again apologize to everybody if you're members of the Loft, um, but I've been doing my absolute best to catch up as soon as possible, starting this week. However, I am very glad to share with you that on the last day of June, we have finalized our class for July. If you recall last week, I was sharing with everybody that I was starting to get very concerned that I didn't know if we were, our instructor kept kind of hemming and hawing, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And it's simply because this person is very, very busy too. And and at one point I had to literally pull the trigger and be like, look, if I don't have it by this day, I got to move on. Like, I got to get somebody else, and I have somebody else lined up. So do we need to postpone? Do we need to whatever? No, I promise I'm going to do it. And I'm happy to say they did. So yay. So it is now official. And tonight I'm sharing it with you for the very first time. Folks, let's give it up to the lovely and talented, the goddess herself, Dawn Gertman, with inflation plus floral equals fabulous. Because you know how I hate alliteration. So there we go. So Dawn is going to be teaching a class for us, combining floral elements along with your balloons, like how to do it, how it works together, how not to pop everything while you do it. That's going to be our class coming up in July. That is going to be July 29th. So it's practically a month away, which is good because that gives me plenty of time to catch up on everything. So we're very excited about that. Dawn is a fabulous instructor. I adore everything she does. I can't wait to see what she comes up with for this class. The class is scheduled again for July 29th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and whatever the hell time it is where you are. If you are a member of a Loft, do nothing, because you're already going to get the invitation on July 28th, and that'll be all taken care of for you. If you're not a member of a Loft, you can either join a Loft, which is $80 for 6 months, or $120 for an entire year of unlimited access. Or, of course, you can also turn around and you can buy a direct admin, or direct access to this class alone for $25. Now, to be fair, again, because this all just got finalized in the last 24 hours, I don't have you can't sign up for the $25 level yet because it's just not up on the website yet. So I'll be sure to get that squared away tomorrow with our web guys so that we can get that taken care of. But that'll be up and running. And then if you do decide to join the class for $25, not only do you get live access to the class, but you also get a digital download copy of the class that you get to keep permanently. A lot of members don't get that because you get to keep the videos as long as you're a member. You get to watch the videos as long as you're a member of the streaming service. So you go. Milton, my friend, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. So we're very excited to see what Dawn has in store for us. And thank you very much, Dawn, for agreeing to teach the class. I'm also very happy to share with you that I will more than likely, I do have the next instructor lined up as well. Of course, something did just occur to me, actually. I'll have to check that later. If I'm not mistaken, I think the person actually picked the same day that the concert is. I have to look, which means I won't be doing that one, or we'll be rescheduling it. But I will be announcing the August class sooner than normally. What I like to do is if I can, I'll wait till the end of the virtual class to announce when the next one is. But because of the lateness of this class, we're gonna announce it sooner. So I'll have the information for you probably in about 2 weeks. Okay, so there we go. So again, thank you very much to Dawn for teaching the class for us. All right, let's get to some big time float news. Not a tremendous amount of float stuff that you don't already know, but there's a few things here and there. First of all, I do want to remind everybody once again that if you are either a vendor coming to Float or interested in being a sponsor at Float, this is not being a vendor. Being a vendor and being a sponsor are two different things. If you're a vendor, basically you're just renting space in the vendor showcase and you have a booth. If you want to be a sponsor, that means like you want to, for example, host one of the parties, or if you want to present the lanyards, or you want to, sponsor one of our competitions or something like that, That information, now that I have time again, is going to be officially released on July 14th. And I don't care what the hell happens. I can't wait anymore on this. I've dragged my feet way too long on this. So all of this information will be going out to sponsors on July 14th. I've had quite a few of you reaching out going, dude, where is it? It's here. I promise it's coming. I've just been absolutely buried with June and float, and balloon designers. So, but all this information will be out in a packet. Again, we're going to have decor elements to sponsor. You'll be able to sponsor entranceways. You'll be able to sponsor hallways. You'll be able to sponsor parties and events. You'll be able to sponsor the tote, well, actually not the tote bags. I'm sorry. You'll be able to sponsor the lanyards. You'll be able to sponsor the t-shirts once again. Like I said, we have new opportunities of sponsorship. You can sponsor the room keys at Float. You can actually be one of the folks that's doing that. We've got slide presentations that are being done that you can be sponsoring on for very little money and get a slide up there constantly circulating in the slide program. There's a lot of things, and we've even got other stuff that I don't want to quite share yet, but I'm very excited about it. Some big stuff coming to Float that we need help with our sponsors or need our sponsors to help out with. Featured talent. If you're looking to present fashion designers, if you're looking to present Twisters in the Jam Room, if you're looking to present sponsored sessions where you get an hour-long bonus class opportunity, all of that will be coming out in this packet on July 14th. It's going to be a very big day. More than likely, the packet itself will be released on the 14th, and then the sponsorships will open the next day. Because I want everybody to get a chance to absorb the information and go from there. So there we go. So yeah, that's a big, big deal. Now, the other big deal that starts, well, it's already started, but it's the other big deal that really needs to be talked about is our Float payment plan. That's right, folks. Latex on layaway. The Float payment plan, admittedly, we haven't been doing a lot of focus on this, and I kind of apologize for that because, again, that's me kind of dropping the ball. We didn't really get it set up until May, and, of course, what happened in May? We started getting really busy in May, and then, of course, June hit, and dear God, heaven, I'm dead. So I want to take that. We're going to start this campaign reminding everybody that the Float payment plan program ends on July 31st. So if you are interested in taking advantage of the payment plan option for Float, you must enroll in the program by no later than July 31st. Can we sponsor a tattoo for Steven? No. I think, I have no problem with people with tattoos, not at all. I don't have any, and I don't plan on having any. So there you go. Of course, I really should consider one because as lovely as I am, they say that the more tattoos you have, the less likely you would be kidnapped and sold into become some wife somewhere or husband somewhere. Kidding, I'm just joking. Now there was something on. I was scrolling on, doom scrolling on Instagram, and some video popped up of how this girl was like covered in ink, and she's like, the best thing about this is I'll never get kidnapped because they can identify me. It's like, so that's where this joke came from. Forget it. But anyway, yes, if you're interested in taking part in the payment plan program, if you're one of those folks that doesn't want to shell out, $695 at once. Now, I do want to be very clear. The payment plan program is based upon a $795 price point. Okay. So it is not, you don't get to sign up for the payment plan at $695. If you enroll in the payment plan, it is at $795. You will put down an initial non-refundable, you'll put down $295 at first. Then you will also put down, I believe it's a $30 processing fee, and that's all, or $39 processing fee, the $9 for Planet Reg and $30 to Float. And all of that fee, the $39 plus the $295, that is all non-refundable. So your initial fee is gone. You enroll in the payment plan program you need to know that that $330 something is gone. You're never getting that back. And then we charge your card every 30 days, $100 until you're done paying it off. Keep in mind, there are some disadvantages to this program. For example, well, like I said, the first disadvantage is if you cancel, you lose that $300 and something. We will refund other payments that you've made, but like if you, let's say you make $500 worth of payments or whatever, you'll lose that three something, but you'll get the rest back. Also keep in mind that you cannot get access. You won't be officially registered until you're fully paid. So you don't get any of the benefits until you're fully paid. And the problem is, if you wait till July 31st to enroll, you will not be paid off until after December 1st. The problem with that is it means you may not qualify for a tote bag. And at the same time, the discounted room rate for Float closes before December 31st does. So we will have to address those situations as we get closer. For example, if somebody is just one payment away, we may extend them the courtesy of letting them book the room and counting them in the tote bag. But if you, for some reason, have stalled your payments and this and that's done, you're going to be out of luck. That's all there is to it. And no, you don't get to make like a $300 payment and then wait 6 months and then pay off the rest. That isn't how this works. That's not how layaway works. It's not how payment plans work, period. You've got to make small little payments as we go along, and that's kind of the idea to make it easier for you. But the other thing that I do want to remind everybody is if you do enroll in the payment plan, you also need to take into consideration that you have to fly yourself there, and you need to take into consideration that you got to put yourself up somewhere in a hotel while you're there, and you got to eat while you're there. It is amazing the number of people. It is amazing the number of people who in the past have done the payment plan, gotten all the way to the end of the payment plan, and then realized, oh crap, now I have to come up with money for a flight. Like, really? Dude, this is all part of you should have already been thinking about that. But it's amazing how many people absolutely don't think like that. So we need to make sure they're going. Dominique, good to see you. Catherine, when do we book the hotel rooms? Catherine, that's been out. You can check your float notes from the past couple months. The link has been there. The rooms are open now. So there you go. Or they can just pay it off early. I don't know how that works. Yes, they probably can, but I don't know how that works because it's an automatic charge. It's set up as an automatic payment thing. So I would basically we'd have to coordinate the payment plan. And I'll tell you right now, I know what some people will do. I know that some people will say, here's the 330 something bucks. Do me a favor, send me an invoice for the rest and I'll pay it. And then you disengage the automatic payments and then they don't pay the invoice. No, we're not going to do that dance again. It's that simple. Again, the reason why we stopped doing this is because years ago, I did this video on StepChat one night, actually explaining to people the process. And basically, if there was 100 people that signed up for the payment plan, let's say there was 100 people, making it easy. 50% of those people made the first payment and that was it. We never heard from them ever again. And I mean ghosted. Like, you'd send them, you'd try to run the card. And this is before all the automatic stuff was available. So you would have to manually run the card every month for the balance. And it would never happen. The card would work. And so you're constantly running people's cards. You're constantly doing this. It was just a royal pain in the butt. So 50% of them never did it. Then you'd get another, say 20% or 30% that would make like a second payment or even a third payment and then cancel. So in the end, only 20% of the people would actually finish the payment plan. Then the problem was half of those people would cancel because, as I said before, they didn't take into account, oh, I just got done paying this off. I don't have the money for an airline ticket now. Well, what the hell, man? Like, seriously? So if we did this payment plan of the 100 people that actually signed up for it, 10 would come to float. And it just wasn't worth the work and effort. Now, with automation, that's different. Now with automation, I'm perfectly fine bringing it back. Murphy, you can't throw the ball over there and expect me to go get it. I'm doing a show. You got to go get it. Got to get it. Bring it here, and I'll throw it. Okay, so there we go. Now, there is one other thing really quickly that I want to talk about that I don't have a slide for. And that is that the last two episodes we've talked about offering a go get it. We talked about offering a $50 coupon code in July. I was working on all that, and then it didn't even occur to me. It's like, oh crap, the payment plan ends in July. So we're going to suspend the coupon promotion until August. Plus, on top of that, I didn't get a chance to really talk to the teachers about it, so they don't really even know. And the last thing I want to do is say to them tomorrow, hey, guys, guess what? We're doing this program, and it starts today. Because half of them won't even pay attention until halfway through the month, right? So that's kind of what I want to do. Thank you, Murphy. He brought it to me. See? There we go. So that's kind of what I want to do is get, give the teachers an adequate amount of time so they can learn about it and they can figure out what to do and go from there. Dina, time to put on your adult panties and figure all this out. Good grief. Yep, exactly. So there you go. I know when I put on my panties, they're adult panties, but it's fine. There we go. Catherine, what's the coupon for? The coupon is for people that have not yet registered for Float. We didn't offer coupon codes during the $5.95 price point because $5.95 is pretty damn low to begin with. Now that it's $6.95, we're going to offer a limited time promotion of $50 off. People that sign up for the payment plan, they're not eligible for the coupon code. Again, we're not giving discounts away for people that are extending the payment out over 6 months. And I look, I know people that offer payment plans and don't give any refunds at all. So I'd like to think I'm being pretty fair with this. So there's that. So the coupon code program that I talked about the last couple of weeks, that will be postponed until August. So there we go. Over the last week or so, since our last episode of Step Chat, we've gotten a couple questions, and I thought I would share those questions with all of you in case you also were wondering about them. Excuse me. Both of them happen to pertain to the fashion show. So let's talk about that very quickly. Question number one, can I still be in the fashion show even if I miss the deadline to sign up? The answer, of course, is yes, you can. As long as you are registered to attend Float 2026, you'll be part of the fashion show. But you also have to be able to prove that you are capable of making a legitimate dress in the showcase. What does this mean? Obviously, it means we need to see pictures of what you've done. You can't, as much as I want to encourage you, you cannot come up to me and say, well, I've never made a dress before, but I consider this a challenge. Then we're going to say, then you should probably sit this one out. For two reasons. Number one, more than likely, somebody who's never made a dress before is going to panic and pull out of the fashion show, which we don't want at the last minute after we've gotten everything planned out and figured out. And then secondly, people can be cruel. I mean, there will be people that will be watching this fashion show that couldn't even begin to think of making a dress themselves, who will be sitting there going, they actually thought that looked good, right? I mean, these things happen. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Didn't mean to pinch you. The last thing that you want as a newbie, thank you, is to have that kind of commentary and that kind of crap thrown at you. It's bad enough for the competitions. So, okay, there you go. So there's that. So Murphy, we're not leaving yet, please. So there's that. that's one of the, so again, we want you to be able to show that you've made at least a couple dresses, that you know what you're doing, that there's a comfort level. So even if you do decide to bail out and go simple, right, we know that you're capable of doing it. So there's that. The second question that we got, and I've actually gotten this a couple times this week: why is the fashion show at Float not a competition? This is a topic of conversation that we went back and forth on a couple of times. But the reason is pretty simple. We want the fashion show at Float to be both an exhibition of talent, and we want to encourage collaboration among both designers and attendees. Now, you might be sitting to yourself thinking, well, what does that mean? So one of the things that I'm doing with the fashion show this year, and this is something that the individuals that are being sponsored at Float to be in the fashion show, and right now there's a few, which we'll be announcing later this month, by the way. Those individuals will be required, as part of their involvement in the fashion show, to actually work on their dresses in public places. So there'll be a scheduled time where we will insist that the dressmakers bring their dress forms down, and maybe it's in the float flop zone, maybe it's wherever, I haven't decided yet, but they will be set up. Now we're going to sanction them off a little bit, like put stanchions up or caution tape or something, so that people can observe but not disturb, if that makes sense. Because it's amazing how many people don't give a damn about just walking up and handling somebody's stuff, right? And so the idea here is that we want the dressmakers to be available to answer questions. We want dressmakers to be, we want this to be educational as well as inspiring. And that is one of the problems. If we have this as a contest, every fashion designer will sequester themselves away and in private, because they won't want anybody to see what they're doing, because they wouldn't want someone to outdo them, right? So the idea here is you've got the designers sitting together, they're sharing what they're working on, they're talking about what they're doing, they're this and that, and blah, 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 blah. They could inspire each other. People walking up, oh my God, that's so great. Are you doing this? And all of a sudden the designer's like, wait a minute, no, I'm not, but that's a great idea. And then boom, it goes from there. So that's kind of where we're at with this. We want this to be more of a collaborative effort rather than something that's brutal and competitive and people pissy and whining if they don't win and all that other stuff. So we're just not going to do it. So let's see here. What are the chances, Dominique? What are the chances you get a sponsor for the fashion show? Well, right now we have more sponsored spots than we have actually people that applied for them, I think. But at the end of the day, I can't say. I really can't say for sure. I don't know. So far the people that have been sponsored actually went out and got their own sponsors. Like, somebody reached out and said, I want to be in the fashion show. And I said, well, great, fill out the application. Well, I don't need to. I've already got a sponsor. And I said, do they know they got to pay $1,000 to sponsor you in the show? And yes, they do. And yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then I reach out to them and they're like, yeah, we'll do it. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay. They did find a sponsor. So there's that. Now, who can be a sponsor? Well, you can have, hello, Murphy. You can have wholesalers can be sponsors. Balloon manufacturers can be sponsors. Anybody related to the balloon industry can be a sponsor. The only person that can't be a sponsor is yourself. You cannot turn around and say, I'm going to pay the $1,000 sponsorship and put myself in the show. Because the problem is that still gives you the ability to bail out. See, if somebody else is sponsoring you, you're far less likely to flake. But if you decide to put yourself in the show and then for whatever reason you're upset, tired, frustrated, hangry, whatever, and you're like, I don't like it, I'm not doing it. You're far less likely to do that if you're doing it for Anagram, or if you're doing it for Metallic, or you're doing it for having a party or something like that. So we're not accepting self-sponsorships for the fashion show. Pretty simple. So there's that. So I hope that answered the question. The truth is, I don't honestly know. This is a first time for us, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, even if you don't get formally sponsored, you can be in the fashion show. It just means it's just a little more challenging, right? You have to bring your own dress form and that kind of thing. But then again, you could always order it through Amazon, have it sent to you at the hotel or delivered to the hotel, and then you just got to worry about getting it home. And if you don't want to deal with it, then you just turn around and say, "I'm gonna just donate it to Float, and we'll throw it in the mix." The downside of that, or the downside, of course, is that dress forms themselves are about a couple $100. So you don't necessarily want to. I don't know that you want to buy a dress form and just like dispose of it. Might be cheaper at that point. But remember, if you do buy a dress form and then you ship it from the hotel, not only do you have to pay for shipping, but you also have to pay the hotel for the courtesy of shipping. That's what a business center does. So there's that. Okay. All right, let's get to what we like to refer to as our street level float content. The Monday show, I actually remembered this time to do a step chat survey. The last time show was on Monday. I completely forgot. And you could tell earlier today that the idea of a vacation was very much on my mind, because today's question was, in referring to a convention, do you consider going to a convention a vacation, or is it just an extension of work? Now, what's really funny is I'm gonna get to the answers here before we go too far into this. So 66% of you said absolutely not. Conventions are just an extension of my business life. And I understand that. Me, very much the opposite. I am absolutely, yes, time away from the everyday is a vacation. If I go to a convention and I am not working the entire time, if I'm not on staff, and I am literally picking and choosing what classes I go to, if any, if I'm just hanging out socially and visiting with people and talking to people, blah, blah, for me, that's a vacation. I also think that the answers would be different if this was asked to a group of twisters, right? Most decorators, I think, look at a convention in a far more business perspective. I'm not suggesting the twisters aren't business oriented, but when you look at the activities and functions that take place at a twister event, for them, it very much is a vacation. It's like a big play date more than it is actual, work and business prep. And yes, they go and they learn things that they can use in their business, but at the end of the day, it's far more like fun time. So I think the results would be different if I asked this in, say, Balloon Twister Central as opposed to the float. But that's fine. It is what it is. So yeah, I was surprised to see. Well, earlier today it was like almost 80-something%, but so I glad to see it kind of throttle back down a little bit to 2/3. But again, it does make sense if you're, like I said, if your answers coincide with what you said last week, where it's like, I go to class, I don't miss any classes, I do this, I do that, that kind of a thing. So there you go. So thank you very much for taking the time to fill out our survey. Once again, I do want to remind everybody that Float is on YouTube at youtube.com/@thefloativerse. We ask that you please like and subscribe and share our posts. It helps build the network, build the channel, really help it. We are contemplating at one point, possibly, we talked about Twitch at one point. We talked about moving the show like Step Chat to Twitch. Now I think what we may start doing is we're looking into a simulcast. We're looking into the possibility of doing the show both on Float or on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. The service that we subscribe to apparently does allow that. So we can do multi-platform streaming. So we are looking into that as well. I'm looking at the Denise comment, but I feel like my clients have higher confidence and demand for me. No, I don't. I tons of orders come in every time. Now, I understand exactly what Denise is saying by that comment. because for me personally, like, every time I inform every time I inform A to the LDXA that I am going out of town, that's when everybody and their damn uncle wants to book a job with us. And it freaks her out every time. So I understand exactly what Denise is saying by that post. So there's that. Laurel, are you putting the new Working Wonders episodes on YouTube or just Step Chat? No, we are going to be putting the Working Wonders episodes out there as well. I just have to catch up on that. So I did, and I don't even have, well, keep in mind, so far, 2 of the 3 episodes were just teacher announcements, right? So I didn't really do much with that. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I do think Lisa forgot to record the 1 episode with the educational content when they did. But she did inform me during the show this time around that she had recorded the Working Wonders episode. I just don't have the recording yet. So hopefully I can get that from her and get it uploaded. And yes, that will be uploaded as well. So there's that. So that's a great question. Thank you very much. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. I also do want to remind everyone, now that my life is kind of getting back on its own regular schedule again, I hope to do this better now. Obviously, we're doing the live broadcast tonight here on Facebook. The full episode of tonight's episode will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow, and then the summary episode will be uploaded on Wednesday. So for those of you that don't want to listen to me ramble for an hour or more, then I'll have that updated for you very soon. So there is that. Also, I do want to remind everybody, now this is very important because this is tomorrow, or as we like to say internationally, mañana. Lisa McIntyre is going to be hosting her international episode. Tomorrow is the first Tuesday of the month. It's also the first of the month, but it happens to be the first Tuesday of the month. And with that, it means it is time for Kicking Back with Lisa Mac International Style, which means that Lisa's show will be broadcasting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And whatever the hell time it is where you are. In Australia, I think it's actually like next Tuesday or next Wednesday is what the actual time of the show is. No, I'm kidding. So there we go. Lisa has been, it's a wonderful idea that she's had. She is now going to offer 1 show a month, much earlier in the day, so folks from other countries can more easily join in on the fun. And I think it's an absolute great thing. And of course, I am now being texted by Lisa McIntyre as I'm doing the show. So clearly we now know who is not watching Step Chat tonight. So we should all shame her horribly. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, there we go. So so Lisa's show. For those of you that aren't familiar, it's basically, like I said, a virtual happy hour. It's every Tuesday. The show will be broadcast for the first hour right here on the Float Facebook page. And then after that, it goes into what's called after party mode, where they stop streaming. No, Australia is not 3 days ahead of us. I was joking. We used to joke with Australians that they were time traveling because it was always the next day when they were on the show. Then they go into after party mode where they stop streaming live. That's where a lot of people even just finally get in on the show. So you can do that too if you don't like it. If you don't want to be part of the live call, the link for that, by the way, is found in the Float Facebook group. But the show is broadcast on the Facebook page because YouTube no longer allows third-party platforms to stream in their groups. So there we go. There you have it. So this week's show will be 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Let me feel it. That's right. Whatever hell the time it is where you are. But that is not the only show coming up, because our good friend Pia Guadalupe is coming back once again with another episode of La Familia Float con Pia Guadalupe. That'll be taking place on Monday, July 14th, 2 weeks from today. Very excited about that. 6 p.m. Pacific Time. She will be broadcasting both here on Facebook and on Instagram. The show will be simulcast that way. We will be doing that. Yes, we'll be doing that differently. So there's that. So basically, Pia does the live Instagram from her phone and her own personal account, and then I will be the one coordinating the Facebook Live here on the page. So there you go. Pia, I do not recall. I thought you said you had a guest lined up, but I don't remember if that was correct or not, because my mind is mush after June. So we'll talk about it soon. We'll catch up on that. So please mark your calendars for that. Now, do remember the show is broadcast in Spanish. So brush up on your Duolingo before you get out there, and you can have a good time. And of course, I do want to remind everybody that Step Chat should now be back to its regular schedule. We should now be back to Sundays for the foreseeable future, without any additional interruptions, barring any other major jobs that come up that interfere with me being here on Sundays, which is very rare. Like I said, June is about the only month where this happens a lot. There may be one in December on the average, or if I'm traveling, that's another thing. Sometimes I have to postpone, but I always try to make up for it. But no, we're back to Sunday nights regular. So there we go. And folks, with that will do it for tonight's episode of Step Chat. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. So if you guys have any other questions, can I say the name? Yes, Pia, by all means. If you know who's going to be joining us for the show, please, by all means, we'd love to know who it is. I just don't remember. I know you told me. My brain is quite mush right now. So there we go. So yeah. So if you guys do have questions while Pia waits for the response, or while we wait for Pia's response, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them out in the chat. I'm more than happy to help about it. Catherine, you did ask a question earlier that I did not get to, and that was, how can I volunteer to be a model? You can. We do look for models. So if that's something you'd like to do, by all means, we can talk about it as we get closer to the event. So there we go. Yeah, there you go. Perfectly fine. Still waiting to see if Pia is going to type that name in. But like I said, if anybody has any questions, I can stall for a minute or two. Oh, that's right. She's going to be with our masterclass instructor, Alessandro Patania. Or is Patania? I forget. I guess he could say it. We'll have Pia make him say it. Then I'll know exactly how to say his last name. He's teaching our masterclass on behalf of Anagram at Float. Alessandro was a designer of the year for World Balloon Convention, and he's very excited to be headed to Float. We're excited to have him. So there we go. So yes, thank you, Pia Guadalupe. Appreciate that very much. By the way, Pia, how are you doing? Pia has been very public, so I'm not saying anything out of school here. Pia has been battling cancer. I, for one, feel guilty to a degree because I haven't had enough time to chat with you and catch up with you and everything else. So, okay, if you don't mind sharing an update with everybody here, so it'd be great. Yeah, it's been kind of rough. I had in addition to all the June stuff that was going on, a friend of mine back in Cincinnati lost her 17-year-old disabled son. Yeah. Now, to be fair, he wasn't supposed to live past 7. So the fact that he made it to 17 is truly a blessing and truly a miracle. He's severely disabled. Went into the hospital like 2 or 3 days before his senior prom. Didn't get to graduate. Never came out of the intensive care unit, unfortunately. I really want to take this opportunity to thank Stacy Chase, because I mean, what the hell do you say to somebody in that situation? It's just, you don't, the words, but I knew somebody who did know what to say. And so I reached out to Stacy and I said, hey, look, I said, I have a friend. I said, and you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do anything. But you're, as a parent who just went through something almost identical to this, if she wants somebody to talk to, would you be willing to talk to her? And Stacy was immediately, yes. I wish people, there's things that I would share that I wish people had shared with me. And I said, that makes sense. And I know they had at least one conversation. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Stacy very much for helping my friend who needed it. So, okay. Well, I'm not seeing any questions out here, and this little guy is very eager to get home. I'm very eager to get home. I am very hungry and very tired and very ready for a shower. So with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. That's probably more information than you needed, but it's all good. Here, come here, buddy. Let's give everybody a look at Murphy. Thank you. Appreciate it. You're a good dude. You're a good dude. He had some fun at the Pride Parade yesterday. Well, he didn't really have a lot of fun at the Pride Parade yesterday. He has to go to the parade because I can't leave him at home for 12 hours, right? And because the parade is a very public location, he can go. And so we basically get everything set up down there. We tie him off, and then we get to work. And every once in a while, somebody will come over and, oh, can I pet your dog? Of course you can. Go right ahead, because he hates people. Yep, right, exactly. And then, well, so then the problem is when we've handed out all the balloons to the clients, then we got to get to the other end of the parade because that's where they're popping everything. And Ryan had a great idea. Didn't think it was going to work. Didn't think it was going to work at all. But he said, look, there are these Lime bikes right here. The rent you rent. Let's take the Lime bikes. That way we'll just get down there much faster, much more efficiently, everything else. And I said, dude, he won't sit in a basket at Home Depot. I can't push him in a cart at Home Depot. So I don't think he's going to stay. And so I got the Lime bike with the basket, and I put his butt in there, and he sat down, and he was like, and for a split second, I thought it was actually going to work. We got 30 feet on the Lime bike, and the little jumped off the Lime bike mid-movement. Yep. So needless to say, Ryan continued his ride down to the Space Needle while I had to walk the rest of the way. And the reason we walked is because we knew, here you go, go on. The reason we walked is because we knew that by the time I got an Uber, I could have already been there. And there's no guarantee that they'd let him in the car, right? I mean, there's no guarantee that they would let me hold him and all that fun stuff. So I couldn't tell the way he was loving on Chelsea Raylan. She got all the cuddles. Yep. Yeah, he hates people. So there we go. All right, folks. Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your flexibility and joining me on a Monday. I'll see you guys on Sunday night. I probably will not be on Lisa's show tomorrow. We do have there are no pictures of Murphy in the bike basket because he didn't last in it. I probably won't be on the show because we do have an install, like I said, tomorrow morning, and I have another balloon person showing up here tomorrow. So I don't want to be rude and all that stuff. If it works out, we might make an appearance together on Lisa's show, but if not, it ain't gonna happen. But yeah, so there you go. We're busting out all over the place with balloon people in town last couple of weeks. So there we go. So thank you all very much, and I will see you all next time right here on The Step. Take care.